Alright, we're doing something a little bit differently for this next fest, so I like to think I've gotten a little bit wiser in terms of covering these games. You're going to find the complete, unaltered, and full runs of each night of Next Fest on the secondary channel. There'll be a link to that down below, and these videos will be specifically my favorite games from each night. So, with that said, enjoy this video, and I will see you for the next one. For our first game, this is Vengeful Guardian Moonrider, the latest game from Joy Mashers, who did one of my favorites, Odalus the Dark Call. For this one, it kind of plays, I think, similar to that of Strider, if I remember from back in the day. We play as a robot who has been reprogrammed, who has decided to go against its programming and turn on its evil masters. And in typical 2D action form, that means we're going to be fighting a lot of robots, alien-looking things, and more. In terms of the general movement, this game is very responsive. You can run, jump, wall jump. You'll gain and get access to different special weapons in the main game, but for this one, we just have a normal attack and this kind of like laser saber move. Levels themselves are short and sweet, at least from the demo, and you're going to be doing all kinds of mainstays of 2D action platforming, fighting this giant looking alien robot thing that you're seeing right now, jumping on various cars, and more. Now, from our play of the demo, it's kind of hard to tell just how hard or easy the main game is going to be. But considering that they also made the game Blazing Chrome, which was a very big homage to kind of Contra 3, I expect this game to have plenty of bite for 2D action fans. And if you are looking for another modern retro action game, definitely check out the demo for this. We now turn to Double Shake, and this is a game that has a very simple and lofty goal indeed, and that is to be a spiritual successor to the classic 2D action platformer Tomba, which by saying that name you are either all in on this concept or you have no idea what I'm talking about. But Tomba and, of course, Double Shake are kind of 2.5D style platformers. This is more kind of on the adventure than pure action side, as you'll be exploring, completing quests, solving puzzles, and of course moving into and out of the foreground and background. The basic story so far is that a volcano has erupted on the island next to where we live, and we are going to go investigate. And of course, strange and mysterious things are going to happen, and it's going to be up to us to save the day. In terms of the movement tech and general feel, you'll be able to run, jump, you'll be able to also grab enemies and shake things, and you can throw things into the background to hit switches or manipulate things. As with the classic Tomba game, you're going to be getting a variety of quests. By completing them, you'll be able to unlock more of the world, gain new powers, items, all that good stuff. My main issue from this demo is I felt the controls just did not feel right. The game throws a lot of buttons at you. You have not only a jump, a separate grab command, you also have a kick, a taunt for some reason. And I feel like some of these controls could have been combined to maybe be more context sensitive, just to make it a little bit easier to play. And as I was talking about this on stream, if we do play the full version of this, I will probably have to rebind these controls and make things a little bit easier. I'm just not sure where I would go with it just yet. As for the demo itself, the pacing is a little bit slower than I remember from Tomba, and you're going to have to do a lot of exploration. I feel that a map or some kind of mapping function could be handy in this game, as there are a lot of kind of point of no returns and one-ways as you jump around the different environments. But with those issues withstanding, if you are a fan, again, of Tomba and that kind of classic PlayStation 1 era of action-adventure platforming, definitely check out this demo. We now turn to the Night Witch. This is a, well, bullet hell Metroidvania. We play as a Night Witch who is trying to figure out why, after 14 years of peace, that evil golems have invaded and are trying to destroy the last remnants of humanity. And to do that, we are going to fly, shoot, and cast spells to save the day. The aesthetics, I think, are really fantastic. It's from the developers of the game Rise and Shine, which also had a very great look to it. In terms of the gameplay, you're going to be flying around the handmade levels, shooting and pew-pewing your way through the different enemies. As you kill enemies, they will drop mana that you can use to power up spell cards that you can mix and match at each of the game's save points. As you play through, you'll of course unlock new cards, new abilities, find quests, that kind of stuff. Now, from the demo, we didn't get a chance to see too much in terms of advanced tech. Are there going to be different kinds of weapons, different kinds of powers, or different movement that you're going to get? Again, by the fact that you can literally fly all over the place right from the start, means, well, we're not really going to be getting a double jump in this one. But definitely fascinated to see where this game goes, and as always, it's another Metroidvania, so I will most likely have to play it when it is released. We now go to something far more grittier and violent, and that is Homicidal All Stars. And this game has a very simple mission statement. What if we combine XCOM with the Running Man? We are part of a very deadly game show, and it's up to us to lead our team to win our bouts and move on to the grand finale. And to do that, we are going to have to fight turn by turn and round by round to do so. Similar to XCOM, this is going to be a 2-action system, as characters can move and then perform a skill, or do a skill and then move in that kind of combination, but you cannot attack and then move. Every character has a different set of abilities, and some of these abilities are really quite fun, such as being able to turn off someone's gun, switch someone's appearance so that they all target, or their friends will target them, and of course, everyone's favorite, Overwatch, will be of great effect here. Now, the main area where Homicidal All Stars differs from XCOM is that there's a lot more liveliness to the environment. Because this is a game show, as you play and as the round goes on, the environment may change or things will be added to affect what is going on. You may think you have everything figured out, and then explosive barrels will appear, or another group of enemies will pop in just to say hello. Now, my main issue, or my main concern from the demo, is that there was no real appearance of persistence, or the kind of grand campaign decision making of XCOM. The story page hinted that you'll be able to upgrade characters in between matches, but without being able to see that here, I'm not sure how involved that system is going to be. And I did find it a little bit on the busy side, at least trying to learn it with everything that's going on. But I would definitely say that if you are a fan of XCOM and tactical strategy gameplay, definitely check out this demo. And now we have Erra Exordium. This is a 2D action adventure game that, when we first started playing, I didn't really know where it was going to go. I thought this was just going to be like a very standard Metroidvania, but instead what we have is a very involved 2D action adventure game. Think of something like a Flashback or Out of This World, but with far more emphasis and greater detail for combat and exploration. We play as a mysterious robotic being who is stuck in this world after, well, something horrible has happened. Everything is, of course, trying to kill us, and we are going to have to figure things out by exploring, shooting, and slashing and dashing our way through the environment. Now, the main thing that got me interested in Erra Exordium is that there is quite a lot going on in this game, from platforming and puzzle solving to combat that involves not only doing normal attacks and heavies, but dashing, parrying, managing your stamina, and more. This is one of those games that it definitely has a lot of inspirations in terms of different games, and it does feel, I think, a little bit button heavy. This is again one of those titles where you're going to be making use of, I think, just about every button on your gamepad in order to do attacking, exploration, blocking, and so on. So this is definitely more on the advanced side of some of the Metroidvania and action-adventure games we've played. And if you are looking for something that's on the later side, I don't think I would quite recommend this game. But if you are someone looking for a far greater challenging take on 2D action-adventure gameplay, and that kind of more, I guess, like deliberate nature, but with a greater emphasis on combat, then this is definitely a game you want to check out. And with that said, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at a few more of my favorite games from the first night of Next Fest. And as always, if you're interested in my thoughts on design, then check out my game design books. For entry-level students, we have 20 essential games to study, and then the Game Design Deep Dive series that takes an extensive look at different genres, with more coming soon. We now turn to Aquatico. This is a survival-style city builder where we are trading in the fantasy woodlands and snow of previous kind of survival games for, well, we're going under the sea. It is up to us to build the most sustainable and biggest undersea colony in a future where the surface has become uninhabitable. And we're going to do that as we always do in these kinds of games. Collect lots and lots of resources, refine them into goods, and keep all of our citizens happy, healthy, fed, and working. So this game is definitely going for the more is more variety. There are a lot of buildings that you will be constructing, people will acquire different foods, and there'll be different tiers of foods. You'll need all kinds of resources who will then be used for other resources, and the logistics and production chains continue. Now, the game of course will procedurally generate the ocean floor, and then you'll be able to decide where you'll set things up. Different buildings must be constructed near different resource patches or areas. There are certain areas where the oil will be at the best, you'll need sponges for plastic, and you'll connect everything using pipes. And one of the things I do like about this game is that it cuts down some of the logistics headaches of moving resources around. Pipes can maneuver electricity, oil, and your various resources, and you can connect everything to a singular pipe. So you're not going to need this giant array of mazes of pipes, that this is the electrical pipe, and this is the oil pipe, and so on. The game features a research side, and you'll also have to construct habitats for your people as well. As with games of this style, the main issue that I have is that I'm not quite sure what or if the end game is going to be. Is this a game where there is going to be an end? Is there some grand final building that once constructed means we win? Or is this one of those games that we're just going to keep going until we either drain all the resources or we fail and everyone ends up leaving or dying? And I do wish that the buildings had a little bit more distinction to them. They're all different shades of blue, and it can be quite hard at just looking at the screen to go, okay, this is the oxygen building, this is the factory for plastics, this is the oil refinery, and so on. I would say that if you're looking for a casual city builder or survival style city builder, Aquatico may not be the best for you. But if you're someone looking for the next challenging one, and one that is in a different setting, then I would definitely check out the demo. And for our last game of Night 1 of Next Fest, this is Galactic Glitch. We have a top-down action roguelike, where we have been summoned by an AI to free her from what appears to be mysterious aliens in the far future. The aesthetic reminds me in some sense of Geometry Wars, although these figures are a lot more detailed than that. In terms of our main abilities, we are able to pick up objects and fling them at enemies, as well as pick up or access different weapons and special weapons that we can use through play. As you explore each one of these little like gravity fields, you'll be able to find different upgrades, passives, perks, and so on and so forth. From our play, this is definitely leaning heavy on the action. Enemies are going to require you to dodge a wide variety of different attacks. There are elites with special modifiers, bosses, the whole 9 yards. The main thing that I was looking for that wasn't quite in this pre-alpha build is where will the variance be? Will there be a variety of different weapons and weird passives and modifiers that we kind of come to know from the action roguelike genre? But even with that said, despite this being a very early build of this game, I was enjoying what I was seeing. I like the fact that there is friendly fire for the enemies, so you can use the enemies against each other in a variety of ways. And of course the physics of picking up and flinging things at enemies is a lot of fun as well. And I would say that if you are like me and you enjoy your action roguelikes, then this is one you should definitely check out the demo for, and I'm really curious to see where things go as the game gets further into development. But with that said, we are just beginning our little foray into Next Fest. Tune in next time for my picks from my second day of Next Fest games. You'll find links to all the games I covered here down below. Do all that liking, subscribing, and commenting. And again, if you would like me to tackle your game for a future video and showcase, please reach out. Come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where some of the art and science of games.